How did you first get involved within the association?
Well, we heard about it from John Hallberg, who was a rower at the University of Washington in the 1950s, and then helped bring rowing to Port Angeles for youth and for adults. And John Hallberg he stopped by my office one day and started showing me some things about what he was trying to do down here and what he wanted to do for kids in our community and for rowing opportunities for adults as well. And that got me interested.
What made you want to pursue presidency?
Well, there was a small group of us that were invited to come together, mostly by Mr. Hallberg again, so that we could look together at what would it take to begin growing the rowing club in Port Angeles. And part of it is we wanted to reach out to all youth across the community, something that would have scholarship support, meaning scholarships that would support their fees for the rowing while they're here. And one of the exciting things about rowing is it's a great opportunity for kids who are moving on to college to get scholarships in college.
When did you all start rowing for the first time?
I started in around late 2013, I think the summer.
I started rowing in the summer of 2015.
I started rowing the spring of 2015.
And what's your favorite part about rowing?
For me, it'd be the camaraderie and the teamwork, especially when it shows in the races. We made progress over the years.
I like being outside in such a unique environment and seeing all the wildlife and all the other things.
I like the sense of accomplishment. You do your best.
And how did you all start rowing?
For me, started around Daniel's grandfather came to my school and he was looking for people to join the team. And he looked at me and he said, "You look like you have promise, you want to join?" So I'm like, sure.
I was also approached by John Hallberg. He was a family friend, and he was having dinner at my grandparents' house one night, and I went over and he said, "You should join rowing."
This same person everyone has been talking about was my grandfather, and he convinced me, as well as these three, to start rowing, but I have a more personal connection.
This is Olympic Peninsula Rowing Association. It started about 10 years ago.
It's our anniversary.
It is our anniversary. It first started with the YMCA and basically as a master's program, and then about 5 years ago children were involved, so we also had a growing youth program. When I came, we only had about 2 competitive rowers and a few recreational. We were able to move that at the end of the first year. At the end of the first spring, we had, I think, 7, and then we've continued to grow. So here, almost exactly 2 years later, we have about 21 rowers. This fall, we have quite a few who are coming in the spring who are doing fall sports now. So a total of maybe 25 to 30 kids. The competitive program is from about 6th grade through high school age. We have a few different emphases. The first emphasis would be the recreational group, which is younger kids coming in learning how to row, and then our older competitive kids who go throughout the U.S. We race against a lot of other teams here in the Northwest region. We've been up to Idaho and
South Eugene, Oregon.
Regionals are in Vancouver, Washington. We had one young man represent us at the Worlds this year.
Yeah, Nathan Mishler.
He is a junior, and so he was one of the top athletes in the Northwest. So other clubs are finding us. I get emails all the time from different people who would like us to come and race against them or have our kids here racing. so we're getting a reputation of a fast team. But besides that, it is a lot of fun for the kids. Besides being competitive, there's so many lessons that they learn from it, so much accountability and teamwork that goes into just putting them down the water.
It teaches the kids a lot of responsibility. A lot of the other clubs from around the area, they can take their boats out to a dock and launch right in the water, where our kids have to take the boat 600 feet across the rocks and sand and then launch. And they're rolling on salt water. There's always wake, there's always swell. The wind comes up, we got, chatter on the water. So there's always something that these kids, it's rare that the water's like this for us. These kids usually are rowing in some form of adversity all the time. So when we do find clean water where we go, they usually do real well. This is one sport that you can go almost, pardon the expression, cradle to grave, because as soon as you are old enough, so 6th grade, and you can keep rowing until well into your senior years, and it helps your motor drive, your motor skills as a senior, and you keep going. We have masters that are in their 70s.
Right.
The whole thing is volunteer-based. Everybody that's here is volunteer. We have one paid position, and that's coach. Everybody else is volunteer. We're run by a board of directors, and we take charitable donations for those that want to give. Otherwise, it's membership. We have membership for the masters, for the youth, for the recreation. So we're in a transition right now because of our boathouse damage and moving. We can't grow our membership, so it's kind of got us in a static position of being able to bring more income in to where we can be as solid as we'd like to be. So right now, if somebody wanted to donate to us, they'd be able to donate by contacting one of us or going to www.olympicpeninsularowing.org.